Good morning, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. Today is Sunday, the 11th of May, and the moon is in Scorpio. Deep, dark, foreboding. Well, maybe not foreboding, but certainly deep Scorpio. So what are we looking at? We're looking at the wisteria that is flowering here between the shed and this tree that has been overtaken by wisteria. It's a cedar, I believe. And there's some more. Just kind of wanted to give you the up close and personal view of it. They do smell really nice. So things are greening up here. So the moon in Scorpio is intense. And today we actually have Mars make a square to that moon. Mars is in Leo. Remember, Mars is finally out of the shadow of its retrograde and very powerfully placed in self-expressive Leo. Those of you who know people with Mars and Leo know that there's really no arguing with them. It's kind of like my way or the highway. And that is, can be good or bad depending on what their highway looks like. The 47th president has Mars and Leo, and as far as I can tell, we're on the highway to hell with this Mama Luke. The full moon is tomorrow at about 1 o'clock here, I think 12:27 p.m. Here on the East Coast. So if you're in Chicago, it's like just before noon, and just keep going going west to see when the full moon is in your time zone. Full moons are points of awareness. There is the fruit is harvested at the new moon, whatever seed was planted at the new moon in Taurus, which was that on the 27th of April, and the Sabian symbol was a sleigh without snow, and the idea was to prepare yourself for what's coming. All right, let's come over here. We'll see the other wisteria. That's easy to see, and I'll be able to give it a sniff. So we have a couple of irises. These were yesterday's irises that came up in the morning, and then we had this one pop up. And you can see that right next to it. We might see these two come up later in the day, or certainly by tomorrow. We had a lot of rain, and so it seems much lusher and everything's much taller, and that is not your imagination. Things grow amazingly at this time of year. It's kind of hard to contain things, but you don't really want to cut back too much. You want to cut back on the glory. So here's the wisteria a little bit closer, and I'm going to give it a sniff. There's no bees on it yet. It's a little too cold. It's a little cold this morning, so they're still sleeping, I think. We can see the sun coming up. This whole clump has to go. There's raspberries in here. They will stay, but we want to take everything else out of here. It's way too close to the house for our comfort. But we do have the dogwood coming up. So that square to of Mars to the moon can make us a little more explosive. Squares create crisis. And, Mars in Leo, depending, if you have a good Mars in Leo, then they're working towards, warming and generosity and creativity. But if you have a dictatorial Leo, then we can have some problems. And but we know what our problems are. So here's the dogwood that's blooming like crazy, and then the white stuff behind it, that's Russian olive, and that does actually smell incredible, although it is another invasive species around here. But I want to take you to something I discovered yesterday, a hidden gem. It's going to take some time to get there. So this full moon is quite powerful. That's coming up. The sun is very close to Uranus. Not exact until the 17th, but and with Uranus, you just have to expect the unexpected. So this is sort of the far end of the yard. We have a big holly bush here. We have a lot of, we have to get some of these out too. These are pines, but we didn't plant them. They planted themselves. And they're just sort of taking over the holly bush. So I didn't want that to happen. Ooh, we have Andromeda here. I didn't even know we had Andromeda. Look at that. I think that's Andromeda. We've been here for 22 years. I don't always know what's growing. And this yard is pretty interesting because it grows on its own, and it tends to surprise me even 22 years later. And here is a field of lily of the valley. Loves growing in the shade here. This is one of three, actually. This might be the biggest one, but we have one over there as well. You can't see it. And then we have one up here at the top of the point of the, I think this is like the highest point of the property right here in this corner. But we do have some lily of the valley here as well. So, and it's very smelly good. Very smelly good. A lot of really good smells. You walk around the yard and you kind of like, you're sort of blasted with all these different smells. And, you know, the more you hang around it, the more you realize what you're smelling. So here's some more lily of the valley. They're so sweet. I mean, look at these things, right? This is such a crazy wild yard. A lot of these branches came down and in a lot of the storms and the wind. It was a very windy winter and a very windy spring, and likely to be a windy summer. Well, you're on the coast. It's windier. We have all the coast stuff that happens here, and it does tend to delay the warmth of the spring, but it does give us some relief from the harsh summer. We do have it a little cooler here, which I truly appreciate. Hey, Charlie. He's using his yard as a litter box. Hey, bud. How you doing? Oh, there he goes. Having fun. Scampering through the yard. I remember when I could scamper. I don't scamper too much anymore. More Russian olive on the path to Michael's garden. He hasn't opened it up yet. We can't plant yet. The only thing we've been able to plant so far is peas. It's just still a little too cold here to plant anything. We have to probably wait. They suggest you don't plant anything in this area until Memorial Day weekend. So we'll see. We'll sneak it in if we can. So what else? There was something else I want to say. Oh, there's also a parallel between Mars and Uranus. So anytime Mars and Uranus come together, there can be sudden shifts, sudden changes, sudden surprises. So we can, again, as I tend to say, with Uranus, is we can expect the unexpected. We can expect some egoic outbursts. But this full moon is a very powerful full moon. It's hitting Trump's chart powerfully. It's hitting Vance's chart powerfully. We can expect some shifts and changes through this full moon. So we'll have to wait and see what that means. Here's some more Russian olive. It really smells wonderful back here. And this here that hasn't bloomed yet is all roses, wild roses. So that's smelly good as well. Oh, there's some bugs in here already. I mean, some pollinators in here already. Let's see. I think there's more. There might be more. I can't see it from here. Michael found them yesterday. Those, the other spot where we have lily of the valley. Lily of the valley. This is all so overgrown. It's really hard to keep a yard like this. from going out of control. But there's a beauty in its wildness, and we appreciate that as well. Just looking at the grass, I mean, I was saying this to Michael yesterday. Like, people have lawns, but we don't have a lawn. We have, like, I don't know, it's a natural lawn, I guess. All different kinds of geraniums and different kinds of plants. But we're still cleaning up, still working on the cleanup, but that's coming along. And you can see how the wisteria just, overnight just exploded. We're going to have, once the flowers are past, we're going to go up there and give it a nice trim. Give the wisteria a nice trim so we can actually see out the door. All right, guys, that's the story. Here's some irises that are popping up. This is sort of like an iris field. Created itself, really. I think these irises planted themselves. Maybe we planted one or two and then they took over. It's pretty cool. Anyway, have yourself a great Sunday. If you haven't checked out Mystic Sisters, we did a Mystic Sisters last night. And we also did a Moonshine episode. That Moonshine episode is on Ona's channel. I think it's a really good episode. We talked about a lot of really cool things. And then, of course, we had a lot of fun last night with Mystic Sisters. And talked a little bit more about the Pope and how exciting it all is. But that's the story, Morning Glories. I will see you again tomorrow. Have a wonderful Sunday. It is a little dicey. That's my, by the way, that's my feet. You hear those? That's my feet all like covered in dew now. So it's like, sounds like little farts every time I take a step. Charlie, what are you doing? Where are you hiding? Another announcement. My introduction to the Kabbalah is starting this coming Thursday, the 15th. There's still spaces available, but the class is amassing. And for those of you who have purchased a class but haven't heard from me, you will hear from me today. I'll be sending out some information today. So I'll see you all tomorrow morning. Until then, Charlie and I says, have a wonderful day. Oh, yes, and happy Mother's Day for all those mothers out there. And we're all on some level mothers, even if we don't have children. There's always somebody in our lives that has been a mother who wasn't our actual mother. And I'm sure there are many people we've been a mother to that appreciate us. And of course, the greatest honor goes to the Mother Earth, who gives us all this beauty and all this abundance every time, every year, without fail. We love you, Mother Earth. Take care, everyone. Namaste.